And when Gavin Newsom was on my podcast many years ago, I brought up the homeless situation. And this is a decade ago plus. So you have to picture whatever
What
California
role did he have
was.
then? Was mayor of San Francisco or something?
He was lieutenant governor. He just got done being mayor of San Francisco, and I think he was lieutenant governor on his way to be governor. And so I brought up homelessness, and I said, and people can listen to it on the internet, and we're having a nice conversation. I said, look, it's a bunch of junkies and then a bunch of people with serious mental issues and or both that are living on the street. And then he said verbatim, but what about the real face of homelessness? And I said, that is the real face of homelessness. And he said, no, the real picture of homelessness is a mother who's been divorced, who has a couple of kids and a full-time minimum wage job, who gets pushed to the streets. And I said, that's a postage stamp. That's not a picture.
Absolutely.
I said, what you're saying is a postage stamp, and what I'm saying is the AIDS quilt. And he was like, this is the real face of homelessness. So fast forward, a decade, and they've spent $24 billion, and they came out with a thing the other day that said the leading contributor to homelessness is income inequality, lack of housing, and racial injustice or whatever. So how would one solve a problem if someone was constantly misdiagnosing the problem? I mean, I just got back from San Diego, and they have a big homeless problem in San Diego. And my girlfriend and I were driving around, doing shows there, and it was back to the hotel and out up to Del Mar and other places and driving around. And there's homeless people. They look like zombies. They're flopped down in the street.
Yeah.
And people with cardboard boxes over their heads and stuff, the pants down and stuff. And I said to my girlfriend, have you spotted any mothers of two who were wearing Taco Bell uniforms with their children?
Right.
I said, just dudes flopped out in their own filth. That's all it is. And so it's like, they won't even acknowledge what the problem is, but bigger picture.
They're giving out drug kits, though, with our tax dollars. So, to a certain extent, they surely know that the majority are addicted to drugs because they're giving out,
Blue
needles.
themes, the progressive themes are basically, I always tell everyone, everything is dogs at an airport. You go, look, some people have a lot of anxiety about flying, or they have medical issues and they need to travel with their dogs. Now, I would say that's a bad idea. Nobody needs a dog to travel, but they need a dog to travel. So then somebody goes, why don't we say it's okay to bring your dog, but you got to have a note from your doctor and it's got to be legitimate. And then 10 minutes later, there's dog shit all over the airport because people are going to do what they're going to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And now there's commonly dogs
analogy
on flights. There's dogs all over the airport.
That's true.
I was in LAX a couple of years ago, and there was dog crap all over the main entryway. And I'm like, this is how it's going to go if you don't understand human beings, which they don't. You know what I mean? Everything is about, Tim Walz, who's a complete idiot. He said, but you have to really picture this. He gave this speech a week ago where he had to kind of walk back the whole Elon Musk stock tank thing.
Yes,
I'm laughing.
doesn't Elon Musk own like 8% and the rest of Tesla owners essentially
right?
401k?
And his city is invested in it for 401k, whatever. So he had to walk it back, right?
Mind-boggling.
He had to walk it back. But that wasn't the interesting part about the speech. The interesting part is he just kind of riffed at the end. He goes, I don't know, if I'm the richest man in the world, well, hell, man, I'd be out in the street handing money out, helping people out. And I'm like, oh, you think like a 9-year-old. Like, you think, first off, What do you mean helping people out? Give them like a handful of, you stand there with a sack of money and give people, like, you think that's what rich guys, he creates jobs. Elon Musk creates jobs and builds factories and creates a product that people use, and then the people he employs are gainfully employed. That's what he does.
Teach a man to catch a fish, and he'll eat for the rest of his life. Give him a fish he eats for the night.
That speech is great. It's like, hell, man, I'd be helping people out, handing them money. Like, handing who?
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.